With the 37th week of 260 minutes, it's also the return of Red Carpet Comedy from a brief holiday hiatus, so all the comics go out and do their corporate holiday shows. Tonight's set for me is a little bit, I don't even know the word, I'm saying haphazard, but it's a little bit disjointed, and only just before I recorded this did I kind of put some semblance on it. It's now in 3 big chunks. Can't say I'm any more excited for any chunk over another. I think there's some good lines in there, and the endings are always so hard on this project. They always get me. But I think by doing a callback, I might have at least a bit of an upbeat to go out on, and we'll see if any of these predictions come true. Today, I'm going to let you know I'm thinking of getting rid of the beard. I think it has to go. I don't know. I just had this moment. I told my roommate this, though, earlier this afternoon, and he says to me, because I'm dating again, he's like, oh, only room for one beard in your life? And so just publicly, fuck him. Oh, god damn. It's actually kind of because I'm a little OCD, and if you have a beard, you will never have a clean sink. Ever in your entire life. Like, a beard trimmer is just a little hair cannon launching these little red flecks throughout my apartment. Have you ever been to the beach before and like a week later you find sand between your toes? That's what a beard is. You're like, how did that get down there? I've showered 4 times. That's awful. I also... I think that was the first death lap of the night. Yeah. Oh, I feel special on the inside. Oh, man. I also want to get rid of it because people mistake me for manly. And then I just feel it's such an absolute loss. I'm not manly at all. This is just genetics. I can't do anything at all manly. Here's an example. Only 2 weeks ago did I learn in football what a down was. And now I'm using beer to try to forget that knowledge. I honestly don't care how many attempts they get to move a ball across the field. It doesn't impact my life in any way at all. I would rather talk about how horrible Russell Crowe was in Les Mis than any sports team. That is much more dynamic. I can sing better than that bastard. It was ridiculous. I did try to write a hockey joke, though, just because I noticed something on this guy's face. During the NHL draft, that's a thing, right? Okay, maybe not. This might not work. During the NHL draft, this young guy got drafted into the Montreal Canadiens, and I could see the look on his face. He was just thinking, he's like, I guess it's the NHL. And the only reason I could identify that is because I've caught my own reflection in a mirror before doing a show in Cranbrook. I guess this is going to be comedy. Okay. I asked for this. Yeah, I strove and made it a goal out of it. So, man. I was at a restaurant with my buddy a few months back because I made money once. And it was one of those restaurants where the quality of the food made no difference to your experience. The only thing that impacted this restaurant's success was the genetics of the server's parents. Like, it was just this bevy of beautiful people. Like, I think they seat you in a section based on what they think your preference is. Like there's the boob girl and the leg girl. I got like the rocker chick because of the beard for some reason, tattoos and stuff. What she did was actually brilliant. When she came up to my buddy and I, she said, "Oh, have I served you guys before? You look really familiar. I think I've served you before." And we're like, no, you haven't. And, it's a brilliant thing to do because if she doesn't get a hit, like if it doesn't work out, we just think we were mistaken for somebody else. But if it does work, she looks like, oh, she remembered us. Like, it's a great idea. But what I want to tell her is that it didn't matter to me. Like, she was beautiful. Like, she wore a push-up bra and touched my shoulder. She was already getting 25%. It didn't make any difference to me at all. And to be fair, I don't actually fall for that. Like, I don't actually sit there and think, oh, she likes me. I'm not delusional like that, but I do tip like I have fallen for it, just to not hurt her self-esteem. Like, I don't want her to go back and go like, oh, am I not beautiful? Oh, my God. Yeah. Maybe I tip like that so I don't find out that would never happen. That's also a possibility. She's so there. I am often entertained by guys that are fooled by it. Like, I guess it's a good lie. Like, it's a lie like, oh, you're so big. Like, we want to believe it. We want to believe it, so we do believe it. That's how it goes. But it's a good lie. But these guys, I don't know what the best case scenario is. Like, this guy is there, he has a thing for her, she thinks that he has a thing for him, he tips her like 400%, she goes home with him. The only thing that's happened is he has converted her from server to hooker. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I have no problem with prostitution. I think it's fine if you can, do it for free. You should be able to get paid for it. But if you're going to spend that type of money, just get an actual hooker. Like you don't want a part-time one, in my opinion. That's like the same thing as a hooker bringing you food. You're like, this is disgusting. Why is that meat moist? What's this? Don't like this. Moist was not the word I was going to use. I was going to say shiny, but I think it would have been just as bad. My roommate often accuses me of having no hope for humanity, which is true. But in my defense, the reason I have no hope for humanity is that I used to work at Future Shop, and I worked on Boxing Day once, which is just the most atrocious display of humanity I've ever seen in my entire life. Here's an event that every year kills people, and yet we still allow it to continue. That's madness. That's like legalizing Russian roulette. It makes no sense to me why that would happen. And it's the worst job. Like, I'm in show business now. Well, kind of. I'm in show business the same way that, like, an extra is in a movie. Like, I'm in the background, but if I get too loud, they're like, no, don't do that. They punish me for that. Well, I'm in show business, but Future Shop was even sleazier. Like, I'm in a land of casting couches and nepotism, and Future Shop just still irks me to this day. I would never work there again. They were always telling me, like, I was starting comedy at the time. They were like, oh, you should write jokes about S-video cables. And I was like, or I could quit this job. Let's talk about that second option some more, shall we? Okay. Oh, man. Boxing Day habits, though, like, I think the habits of Boxing Day, the things that people do on Boxing Day, if they were directed differently, it would benefit mankind. Like, everything that happens on Boxing Day is actually kind of good for society. Like, you wake up early, nothing wrong with that. You've done research into something, that's great. You sprint when the doors open, exercise. You trample a couple old people, perfect. Like, these skills towards science, we'd be like, oh, look at this cured disease. Now we're just like, look at the size of this TV. A man died. I know. What a great deal. It's because of groups. It's because, like, one person doing that would be fine, but everybody in groups just gets more and more scary. And I think it comes down to herd mentality. Like if you're in a herd as an animal, that means you're healthy and able to help the whole. But if you're on your own somewhere, it means you're weak and are going to get, like, sacrificed to a lion or a fat friend. Oh, too much of a leap. Okay. No, that's my bad. Like one teenager on his own, I sympathize with that guy. I'm like, oh, he's awkward and young. A group of teenagers is the reason I was late tonight. Couldn't get here. They were in my way. And I think this applies to absolutely everything. Groups make it scary. Like, religion in a group, scary. One-on-one, though, fine. Birds in a group, frightening. Women in a group, also frightening. And the same way, and I know that sounds a little sexist, and you're allowed to hate me for that, but I don't want to listen to your opinion until you've performed for a bachelorette party. That is the most scared I've been in my entire life, because they insulate themselves with, like, this bubble of self-esteem and crantinis. And if you have never been called a loser by somebody wearing penis antennae, and then have that opinion backed up by a woman in a buck for a suck t-shirt, well, you just haven't performed in Cranbrook. That's all for me. Thanks, everybody. A young woman did not fart in her husband's embrace. It took me a while, too. I gotta tell you. Well, week 37 of 260 Minutes was a lot of fun for me. I hope the same for you. It's interesting. The more uneasy I feel about a set, the better it seems to go. Maybe I need to lose some self-confidence. Maybe that's part of the problem. We'll see as the next few weeks progress here. I really like the first two premises. They're pretty rounded out and pretty good to go. The third one needs some work. I think the concept is good. It just needs to be better explained. I think I kind of lost people on the arc of it, but I'll give it another go with some more exposition, and hopefully I can keep the laugh rate of it up.